We're live. Welcome to the 𝑔𝒂𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒏𝒈, where I do amazing art with the helper monkey puppet. Yeah. Or something like that. And apparently, he's not here. So if you came here looking for an amazing art show, and instead you're getting me in all of my majesty, we'll just see how long this takes. See if where Rich might be, because currently he is MIA. So I bet you I know why. Because I bet he set this up for 8:15 and not 8:10. And I turned it on when the timer said to turn it on. Aha! So, yeah, I might be riffing here for 4 more minutes. There he is.
Kind of freaky, right?
Well, the timer said it was time to go.
It shouldn't be time to go for another.
I know, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Hi, Grant Middlebrooks. Oh.
I was just in an intro. We both did the same thing at the same time. Oh, yeah. He's telling you that we saw smoke and then we saw fire trucks.
Sweet.
Not really sweet.
Well, yeah, I know.
You know, it's got the same thing to do with a tornado as it does with a Tennessee divorce, right?
I have no idea what you were talking about.
Someone's losing a trailer.
Ah! Oh, God.
Hello, Grant Middlebrooks. You know, we're supposed to say, like, I'm supposed to introduce myself as an artist and a writer and a tattoo artist and a cover artist and all this. I don't do that. So, like, if you didn't hear me, I'm not repeating it.
Okay.
I guess that's part of the etiquette.
Whatever.
You say welcome to the channel because you want them to be welcome to the channel, which we do. But you're also supposed to...
Like, give your bona fides every time?
Yeah, pretty much introduce yourself as what you do. I'm not what I do. I just do what I do. Because I'm me. It's the other way around.
I feel like I've had too much alcohol.
Right? Huh?
I don't know. I just feel like I've had too much to drink, and I have not had anything to drink. I'm just listening to you and like, what? It's me. It's my mental acuity being drained on a daily basis.
Well, I'm running late because I had an argument with a... I don't know what you'd call her. Like a 80-year-old British woman that's living in Maine, claiming that she's trying to reclaim her roots because somewhere in her past her family was in the Carolinas.
Yeah, real.
And this is all because I posted a meme that said, if you see someone with a Biden-Harris sign, or no, a Harris wall sign, to check on them, because remember, people often miss shit, I've got to read the damn thing now. Well, she got insulted because I posted a meme that had, yeah, if you notice your neighbor has a Harris sign in their yard, make sure you check in on them. Sometimes we don't see mental illness until it's too late.
Nice.
It's a joke, right?
Right.
And then she's all like, mental illness, blah, 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 it's not a joke, blah, blah, blah. And then, she's cracking jokes on Trump and how stupid Donnie is and all this. And I'm like, so you're a 75 to 80-year-old English woman sounding like a fucking third grader. And I basically took her to task for it. I'm like, I'm not making mental illness the butt of the joke. The butt of the joke is the people that support Harris, not the mental ill people. And I'm like, I suppose you're right, though. It's not fair to mental ill people. And then, of course, she has this separate argument all the way down, but it's like she has nothing to do with but fucking shop Martins and look at fucking bingo halls or whatever. And so she wants to make this her fucking prize fight of the night or whatever. For the last 2 days, apparently.
Well,
but like, I'm not gonna take down something that I think is funny just because somebody could possibly find a fault in it. That's your fault, not mine.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't find it funny, guess what? Skip my fucking page. Like, I tattooed you once. I fixed a fucked up tattoo on you one time. Other than that, I'm giving you the freedom to speak because I'm not an asshole. But when you push my asshole button,
I get annoyed with all the crap that Facebook puts on my stream, and it's like you can't comment. So it's like, so you're flooding me with this stuff I don't care about. And
yep, go ahead.
And but I can't comment back to them. Like, then why? I didn't invite you. Why are you? Just because Facebook is suggesting it or whatever. It's like, whatever. Just
right. Like, they're gonna change your mind.
Yeah. I do have to say, when I see, because in Indiana, it's a pretty red state. And so when I see the occasional Harris Waltz sign, I just think, well, good for you. You're going to be, if you're proud about it, thank goodness. Like,
bless your heart.
Well, I mean, I think you're kind of mentally deficient, but
at least in the South, that's why when they say bless your heart,
I know.
That's what they mean. Oh, you're special.
But at least I like their gumption, They're not going to be silenced, and I like that. Good for them.
Yeah, this is fucking completely ridiculous. I'll send you a link to the post, and you can read down through it by yourself. I'm actually surprised that you haven't already.
Oh.
Because there's 11 people that liked it, but there's 36 comments on it, and that, and somebody shared the post too, so that generally, ups the
visibility.
Right.
Well, I just haven't.
Of course,
really done Facebook.
I'm sure they're dampening the visibility because it's not Kamala positive or whatever. So another thing I did during the course of the day was I got a Truth Social account.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much. Pretty much a place where you can go to share memes and read politics of all sorts without any kind of bullshit. It's what a platform should be, right?
I guess.
It's,
I thought it was funny.
it's what Trump posts most of his shit that gets him in trouble on other platforms. They have to clip it and put it there. But there's a huge amount of people there. And
I saw. Oh, go ahead.
Nothing important. I was just gonna say, like, there's everything that I follow on Facebook or follow on X is pretty much there as well. So
I was watching a John Green video, and he said that Twitter was a failing platform, or X, whatever, was a dying platform. Like, it wasn't like the point of his video. It was just thrown in as an aside, and I'm like, okay, I don't know where you get that that X is dying. Especially when I look at things like
rules of the trade. I'm not interrupting you, just kind of engaging the audience as well, because some of them don't want to hear what we're talking about.
I'm just saying that
give them something to watch.
I was talking with a group I sponsor, a club, and none of these kids had Facebook. None of them. And
that's cool.
I know they're on social media things. They just don't. And I'm like, so if you want to talk about a dying platform, it'd be Facebook, because kids aren't using it.
That is true. And some adults are getting away from it too. I mean, like, they have Facebook. Like I have Facebook. I don't generally hang out. Like, if someone picks a fight, then I, stay and fight just a little bit. Well, I get sick of it, But, like, I've noticed that, like, this woman I was talking about, every time that I could have said something insulting, I pretended that she was the old lady in My Cousin Vinny that needed new glasses.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
But I can understand, dearie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty fucked up, but, I was trying to be as respectful, I guess is what I'm saying. I was trying to be as respectful as I could, given the vapid arguments and the name slinging from an old lady.
Yeah, well.
I'm like, wow, really? That's what you got? That's what you're bringing? Well, I guess I will let you know later on why I beat you as bad as I beat you. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to start with 𝑩𝒂𝒓𝒃𝒂𝒓𝒊𝒂𝒏. No, can you pronounce that, Jake?
Nope, I can't.
Right. So, yeah.
It's yellow.
Yellow medium, but it's not cadmium. It's benzamidazolone.
Yeah. That's descriptive.
That's what it says.
I know.
I can't give you any more than what it says.
I'm just mocking it for its marketing, I guess.
I think it's actually telling you what it's made out of because
more.
To know that you're getting a different color yellow than you could with cadmium. All that noise that you just heard?
Yeah.
That was the cat trying to squeeze his fat ass to the gate.
Oh.
What amuses me so much about that is that, like, not even 2 months ago, that cat could not only squeeze through that gate with no problem, but it was almost like it just whisked through.
Huh. Not so much anymore, huh?
I guess, he's well enough fed. Boy. Yeah, one of my friends and clients. And so, like, why are you even friends with this person? They're rude. They're bitchy. I'm like, I try not to unfriend somebody that's got different politics than me.
Yeah.
I think that's a poor excuse for friending or unfriending somebody, even though it tells you whether or not you're likely to have some of the same mentality. And then the other end is the other two, and I guess there's 4 sides to this cube, and I've only used 3. The other ends are that, one, I try to give somebody enough freedom to argue what they believe, to say what they're wanting to say, without censoring it, unless it starts to not be an argument anymore. When they digress to the point where they're calling somebody names instead of what the heck is it called? Rebutting?
Yeah.
Like if you sink to calling somebody names instead of rebutting, then you're not arguing anymore. You're calling names, and you've already lost your argument. Go home. Go home, recover, feel better about yourself, and then come back and try again. That's pretty much how I feel about that. It's unfortunate when somebody can't argue, if they get to the point that they can't literally argue the point, they don't have any factual rebuttals. There's another word and I just can't remember it right now.
Refutations?
That's not what I was thinking, but I mean, it's all in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they can't make a decent argument against it using facts instead of emotions, that's like the whole. I posted another thing because she was insulted about that mental illness one.
Yeah.
That was another mental illness one, right?
Oh, okay.
And I did it just because she was trying to tell me I couldn't do it, And when you know me well enough, you know that's a good reason for me to do it. Imagine wanting someone to run the country that didn't even know our boss had dementia, right?
Oh, I saw that one. I thought that was good.
And she was all like, she is not Joe Biden, which she expressed to Donnie during their debate. Pay more attention. And I'm like, I named her, and I was like, first of all, you pay more attention, comments like this make you look like an idiot or who can't comprehend English or who needs a new prescription for glasses. And said, this doesn't claim Comrade Kamala is Joe Biden. It states that
She said he was sharp as a tack, and
it states that she's so freaking clueless as vice president that she didn't even know her boss was incapable of doing his duty. It distinguishes them as separate but equal idiots. Get that? Like, she tries to talk down and be condescending. She was all like, don't, because I said useful idiot, right? So she, I guess, didn't get the reference. Useful idiots, for those that don't know, are what I think Lenin called the public that could easily be manipulated. Might have been Stalin, but I think it was Lenin when he was trying to go communist. But yeah, it wasn't like literally intending to call her an idiot, but she didn't know enough about the damn subject that she thought that that was the case. So she's like, don't call someone uneducated, or don't call someone uneducated when you are and they're not, or something like that. And I almost went into her and said, how many books have you read in the last year? I bet you I've read more in the last month. How many publications do you have? Like education doesn't mean indoctrination. I know you're conflating them, but that doesn't mean that they're the same thing. That's just a way of condescending, again, name calling, instead of it being actually what it should be. If it was a legitimate argument, it'd be one thing, but it wasn't. And then she told me that I spelled S-P-E-L-L-E-D. I spelled that wrong. It should be S-P-E-L-P. And I'm like, no, that's Queen's English, not English. And you got the wrong country. And I'm like, but I can understand you making that confusing you. Okay, I keep this whole Joe Pesci thing on, dearie. How many do you see now? I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's not very smart instead of intentionally an asshole idiot, right?
Well,
like, you can have your own opinion. You can even have a differing opinion, but don't be an asshole about it, or consider that my opinion isn't just as valid as your opinion when it's not based on a factuality, just a feeling, right?
Right.
That's why I'm all hyped up, because I just got out of that stupid ass fucking argument. Like, she did the Democrat thing, the liberal argument thing that they think makes them win all the time. When you read down to that, dude, you're gonna crack up with some of the shit that she said. I said something about that whole maybe it is an insult to
the mentally deficient?
Yeah, mentally ill people.
Okay.
And she's like, because I'm like, but to be fair, there's a lot of different kinds of mental illness, and you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different kinds of mental illness, and that's sure to fit into one of them. So she replied, so now you're an expert on mental illness? And I'm like, no, I'm not an expert on dog turds either, but I know one when I see one. The main thing with this woman is that I didn't go to her page starting shit. Every single post that I make that's pro-Trump or down with Kamala or whatever, she posts either some vapid remarks. I can't. It's like word salad. You know, it's like the word salad that Kamala does, except for it's written and it's not as long. So like she wrote it out and she actually saw what she said. Like, how do you do that? How do you knowingly do that shit? But yeah, I guess whatever. Yeah, that's one of those. I don't understand people sometimes.
I just hate it when it's somebody that you care about, you know, like family or something, and it's just like.
Well, I literally was trying to be respectful because she is an older lady, right? And I'm not trying to be mean to her, but every time I comment, she tries to fucking demean me, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. I've been doing my best to not call her out on the fact that she's old and British and has no fucking knowledge of the way things are in the United States if she thinks this shit's okay. Like, what I did do was say something to another one of my friends about when she asked why I put up with her, and I was like, she's a refugee from the UK, and like, and you know how refugees are, they run away from a country, show up to a better country, and then want to change that country into the country that they ran away from. And no, I don't understand it. Like, if I felt the need to get out of a country because shit was bad, the last thing I would do is to try to get people to change to that country. Maybe it's just me, but I would be an activist. I'd be like, no, don't do this. Look at what happened, right?
Well, some people are.
There are. And I am not discrediting them in the least bit, but it's these people that show up and they're shills for that shit. Like, I suspect that they didn't come here to find a better life. I suspect that was part of the plan. That they were brought over here to fucking cause malcontent. I'm gonna die before you watch any of those things that I told you to watch. I've been thinking about it.
Whoa.
Pretty steadily. Hold on. I've been thinking about it pretty steadily lately, but I'm gonna make you a list and attach it in a document just in case I don't make it past the weekend.
Okay. But, you know, there are things that I've told you to go experience, and you're like, nah.
Experience or watch?
Well, you know, like, I told you to go listen to some Nina Simone. We're talking like a 5-minute
You sent the link.
Huh?
You sent a link. I listened to it.
I thought you did it.
You sent a link.
Okay.
I mean, I can't listen to it in here because we can get struck, but
I realize that, but last time I talked about it, and I think Chad might have been on screen. I don't think I was alone, and because whoever was there was like, Yeah, Rich doesn't listen to anything he doesn't want to. It's like, okay. I suppose we could pour over hours and hours of YouTube content.
You can send me the link again, and then I'll watch it again, and then I'll comment on it so that you know that I watched it.
You're fine.
I'm pretty sure I watched the link that you sent me because I didn't know who the fuck it was when you were talking about it. And I don't just listen to just anything. Musically, I'm really burnt out musically on a lot of different things. So music's a hard sell. Watching something, I might watch an episode of The Acolyte if it was really important to you, or
God no.
But the thing is, the movies that I'm talking about, every time I mention them, you're like, oh yeah, I've got to go see that. Like the Vincent D'Onofrio, Renee Zellweger version of Robert E. Howard movie you were saying. And then you're like, oh, I had a day off and I watched nothing. That's
right.
Like
work.
Yeah. But you watch movies and you watch TV and you watch actually more of either than I do normally. So,
well, maybe
it's not a huge deal. Like it really isn't. I was kind of being facetious and joking, but half joking. Like I'll send you a list. Half joking because I literally wasn't sure I was going to make it the night before last.
What was up?
Nothing good.
Okay.
That sucks.
What'd you do?
The tape didn't stop this from running. There's two spots. One spot I don't mind. It's an easy cover up. The other spot's right across the back of his hand. I suppose it's an easy cover up too. But now it involves mixing colors that I didn't want to mix. I wanted to leave them the texture that the paper got. Because once I let this dry, everything kind of darkened up some. So I'm looking through again to see what needs to be lightened up and what doesn't. In fact, I'm thinking about leaving the ape's hair basically what the underpainting is. I don't think that needs much work, but it's the face, hand, and chest, and finishing the teeth off. Well, we drove away whoever was watching.
Oh, it says here we still have a viewer.
We have one viewer, yeah. We had more.
Oh, that's true.
We had more, but I ruined it. I ruined everything.
Well, they tend to come and go. I mean,
Oh, I know. 32 people watched the last episode. You know what the duration was? The average duration?
nope.
Minute and a half.
Well, what color is that?
They're all red.
Okay.
I'm just looking through my colors, trying to remember what I was using for the skin color. I'm pretty sure it was burnt sienna mixed with orange. Just a little bit of white. You got to be careful with the weight, because especially titanium weight, that brightens it up, brightens the value really fast. And doesn't like to be incremental. It just wants to maybe mix 3 or 4 values and that's it. Doesn't want to do the smaller, more cautious values. Well, that just freaked me out.
What?
I had to move a plug because it wasn't registering as plugged in. So it wasn't registered as charging, which that's how my screens die unexpectedly, right?
Okay.
So I've got a strip that I plug a light over here, a light over here, the camera, my laptop into, and the plug for that light, the prongs are loose or something because it doesn't take much to jiggle it and kill that light. But there's something up with the plug that Eli plugs the laptop into.
Yeah.
So I have to check. See, so it doesn't say it's charging, but it says it's plugged in. How is that? How is it not charging but plugged in? Hopefully the technical difficulty will not. Okay, so it is charging.
Okay.
It's weird. Like I had a completely full charge. The screen went black and shut down, and then I opened it like I turned the power on by the button.
Yeah.
And it opens up every window that I had to where it was, and it says that it's not charging. But I have a full charge, and it says power is low. How is it fully charged and power low? This is what pretty much assures me that I'm not a competent person with technology. And what's odd is, when I was young, I was the one that was relied on for technology. And now, I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of funny because, like, I think out of a lot of my friends, I am the least technically proficient one. Like, when it comes to computers and whatnot. But then again, I have friends that, like, one teaches chemistry and another one is an IT guy for the college. And so they have a few things that I don't. But yet with the people I work with, I'm like, just do this and this and this, and then okay, there you go. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. And I work with a bunch of young people right now. Like I'm in.
This next year is burnt umber. No, burnt sienna and cadmium orange, and a little bit of white. Sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to make sure everybody that wanted to know knows, and those that don't want to know, well, you know now too. So you know.
Try not knowing.
Undo that. Control V that, mofo. Yeah, I did. I Said mofo.
Yeah, last night when I posted that thing in Slack about he shot thrice, it hurts me because I like the word thrice, but I know darn well it's pretty anachronistic for a sci-fi exposition part.
It doesn't have to be though. It depends on the setup of the milieu.
Well, it would be like if they said it in Star Trek. I mean, it's that kind of setting. I mean, it's just nah. It doesn't work. I know it doesn't work. I know it's the right word. I know it doesn't work still. I feel like I could force it, but as soon as an editor goes, yeah, just change this. This doesn't work. Because I'm sure they would. I'm already using Roost in a somewhat controversial way, so.
You verbalize the noun.
Yeah.
We used to have a teacher that loved to use the term, I will horizontalize your verticality.
That's fun.
Yeah, except for it went over most students' heads. Like, the what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's knock you down. He claims he's going to beat you like a rag doll.
So funny. Oh.
I've told my kids I'm going to hit them so hard they're going to read about it in the paper.
Oh.
They all know better, but you know.
I think normally I would tell them in some way, shape, or form that there's a reason why we call one of you the spare.
I call them by their Indian names. You know, the oldest is Broken Rubber. Hey, look, cleaning the cap worked.
Weird.
Didn't fall all over and paint my fingers and all that stuff. This one.
That's just strange.
And earlier, the James Dean Festival is this weekend. And that's over in
Gas City. And so you get a lot of motorcyclists that come in, a lot of old cars come in. And earlier, it was a cavalcade of motorcycles going down my street that just, like I'm telling you, it was like 10 minutes of just having my butt vibrated by these motorcycles driving by. Which on one level is kind of cool. On the other hand, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let that be the end of it, please.
I don't think my dog liked it very much either. And obviously, that's what's really important. What the dog wants.
Giving any thought to what you want yet?
No.
I've given some thought to what I think would look cool. But,
Yeah, what would that be?
well, if I told you.
Well, if you told me, I might be like, yep, that sounds perfect.
It's just the way that I want to represent the characters.
Represent the what?
Characters?
Oh. It sounded like you said the catfish, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? You can understand why I'd be a little confused.
I would be confused if I said catfish. I would probably check myself in somewhere.
That's why that's why I asked you to repeat yourself, because I figured, nah, that can't be right.
So my job is to think on what would sell as an image.
Okay.
Right? And my thinking is to, like, so the character that you say you like least,
Yeah.
I think that I can strengthen his representation by making him like a partial silhouette.
Okay.
this is actually trying to compose the image to incorporate both characters,
Okay.
which is more than you were talking about.
Okay.
Because from what we talked about, you were talking about either or, and you said your favorite of the two was not the main protagonist.
Right. I mean, he's.
So-
don't get me wrong. I think he's cool. It's just
No,
Visually,
it doesn't really have anything to do with that. That's what you were saying. Like I'm not judging. I'm saying that's what I got out of the conversation.
okay.
So my brain was like, well, how can I make this character interesting? Like, if the main creator, if the person who created the character finds him less interesting than other characters,
visually.
whatever. We're talking about a visual representation. I'm not
Right.
rewriting the character. I'm not adding depth to his character or
No. It's just when you said that I don't find him interesting, it makes it sound like the character's not interesting, and
well, no.
I think he's interesting.
I
It's
said
just
as interesting. Like when I said interesting, then I said compared to
okay.
another. So, like I'm not saying that you're downing the character. I'm just saying that that's the lesser of them for you.
Okay.
So my brain is working on how to visually make the character interesting, but not the main subject of the work. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I found a way to make him interesting where the people that view the artwork, whoever that may be in whatever time that may be, will be sold on him as a character, and it might help to inspire you a little bit.
Okay.
But when I said, like, when I originally was talking to you about wanting information from you, it's not like telling me how to pose them or whatever. It's telling me enough of what they're wearing so that when I do a visual representation of them, you look at it and you go, yeah, that's right, or that's a cool extrapolation of what I was saying, or that's not at all. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to present it to you without having to do 7 different trial and error pictures to get it right.
Right.
So, like, I do this pretty much with everybody, unless, like, Jesse has been a client of mine artistically for a long time now. So, I have an idea of what he will approve of. And I've had him tweak stuff, but for the most part, he I can get what he's saying pretty easily. As far as what we've done together, the only thing I've done was a watercolor bone job. Right?
Right.
And you liked it. I don't know if that was what you exactly were thinking. I actually changed the skin color because you said something about that.
No, you wanted it. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, if you say so.
Like, I wasn't going to paint it red. It was something else, and you were like, I don't want it this color or something like that. And I was like, okay.
Okay. I don't recall.
I would have to watch the video to remember, but
You're fine.
It wasn't a big deal. It was just, something that. It was just something that I did. Like I'm still learning what your tastes are. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to make a bigger deal out of it than it is. I'm just saying that it's still not to a place where I'm confident enough to just go, I'm going to do this representation and that's going to be the way it is, right?
Right.
That's what I'm getting at. That's all I'm getting at is that I don't know I don't know how you want them to look as far as all I can see for Ron, is it Ron?
Yeah.
All I can see for him is this is silly, right? But Disney's Robin Hood, like with a cloak, like the green cloak.
Oh,
like,
well.
Like I don't think you've described the color cloak. Maybe it was a brown cloak or something that he wore, but I don't think you've actually described what he was wearing other than a cloak, unless it was more descriptive when he was imitating a priest. And her, which I can't remember her name, but because she's more of a favorite of yours, you will.
Kyra
I'm not really sure what she's wearing because I've seen a couple of incarnations. So I'm reluctant to just create something of my own. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I said, let me know what they're wearing. What you like? If one of them if she's wearing a sword or whatever, even if it's a slim sword, I still kind of want to know. I may include it in the picture, I may not include it in the picture, but I want the option so that I wouldn't be doing an injustice by doing so.
No, I'm trying to put together something on Discord for you.
Okay. Yeah, so I wasn't like trying to make a new and more difficult task for you or whatever. It was
No.
just something that we're on the same page visually. And
Enjoy that description. Make him look thiefish. Oh, and I misspelled Noel. But I only did it once, so
Did you make him grassy?
yes, something like that. Yeah. Did you know that Kohl's, the store, but Kohl is also like KOHL, just like the store. Is
Makeup,
is what?
Egyptian makeup.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's I want to say it's like a charcoal substance that they use on their eyes.
Yeah, I stumbled across that in some research, trying to figure out what people of what they might use, and yeah, it was just one of those like, oh, I didn't know that. It actually
a lot of their pigments were alligator poop and ibis poop. And
oh, and then okay. Oh. I just realized something. I may have screwed something up. Thanks a lot, Rich. Gosh.
You're welcome.
I feel...
glad I could be of service.
Yeah, I have to check my chapter. That's gonna kind of annoy the crap out of me if I did something really stupid, and I have a feeling that I did. Ah. Oh goodness! And now I got to figure out. I think it's chapter 3. Chapter 3 has more descriptions of Kyra than, because that's where she's introduced. Because I got rid of the old introduction. Well, I didn't get rid of it. I don't think it really works, but I have it because I liked it.
Yeah,
I didn't delete it.
Too. I kind of liked it too.
God bless it. I did.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Now you don't have to find out the hard way. Although I'm sure that's not what you really want to do yet.
Well, I just did something stupid. And now I'm just looking to see, wait, because there's a relatively easy fix. So now I'm like, well, did I already do that? No, I didn't. Damn it. Well, at least I know how to fix it. I think. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to have to definitely fix that. Oh, now I don't know how. Oh, I know what I should do. I'll put it in my comments notes. That way I remember to go through it. God, I feel dumb. Okay. Well. Man. Talk about a continuity error.
Oh, good. I'm glad you caught it, man. No, because those are the worst.
Well, I mean, I could ignore it. It's not that big of a thing. But how do I put it? Well, if I ignore it, it's kind of like a. The only reason I'd ignore it is because it has to do with sex appeal, not actual story, and I think the logic of the world is more important than making sure she's hot. So,
Because she's bald. Ah! Or at least shaven. So she might have stubble. But yeah, timeline wise, she's got a she'd be at most stubbly. And I gave her hair in the chapter, and I shouldn't have.
Is it important?
Again, I think it goes back to the rules of the world. All I have to do is it would also make perfect sense for her to have a wig. So I'm going to give her a wig, and the wig will just come off during a fight, and we're good. I mean, technically, I don't have to do it. Again, I could just know in my head she has a wig on, or I could just be like, well, maybe they don't shave them bald, but it makes no sense with what she does. So, no, I think she's just going to have to be bald. Again, she can have a wig. So, you can decide what you want to. That'll give you more options. She can have a wig. She can be bald. It's up to you.
I would say really it's up to you.
Well, okay, but I'm saying
How do you want to represent her? Like, really? I mean, when I asked if it's important, I mean, is it important to the story that she doesn't have hair?
I think it's consistent with the rules of, I mean, important. It's not a make or break thing, but it would be a flaw if she does at this point.
I don't know. I guess I'll ask why later.
Basically because think of it this way. They need as much skin as possible. So
Who does?
her superiors.
Her superior.
Yeah.
Like race superiors? Religion
Yeah.
superiors?
Religious superiors need her to have as much exposed skin as possible.
And it's not for sex appeal?
No. But again, I can understand why she'd wear a wig.
When you say as much exposed skin as possible, do I infer then that she is nearly naked as well?
No.
Well,
No.
why not?
Okay.
Because that would be exposed skin.
Okay. Normally what she does in her normal life requires her to undergo religious ceremonies wherein there is a chance that her skin will be marked. And because of that, they want to make sure that they can see any marks that may show up, which would include technically something around her hair, which is why they get rid of the hair. But when she's not doing that, she would wear clothes. So, and as she's on a mission,
But she could wear a wig if she wasn't doing that.
I don't know if she'd wear a wig there where she's from, but I could see her wearing a wig in the story because she's on a mission to accomplish things, and bald women aren't, I don't think, are normally. It's still kind of a difficult thing for most people to swallow. So she would want to blend in, and she'd want to at least look normal. And if anyone gives me grief for saying bald chicks aren't normal, blah blah blah, I just want to point out Joan Jett, bald, amazingly beautiful. It is not the baldness. I don't care.
Feature.
It's just one of those things where, you know, especially for artwork, I could see hair being a useful thing. But story-wise, yeah, it makes...
Actually, artwork-wise, it's a lot easier if you don't have any hair.
Well, and that's an option that's available to you.
But, well, no, not really. Because that's not staying true to the story if she's wearing a wig most of the time.
I don't...
So I'm more going to try to stay true to the story. That's why I asked you, what do you want her represented as wearing? Like if she's gonna wear a wig most of the time because she doesn't want to look like something, or if she would just be bald because that's her religion and whatever.
Well, I don't know if she'd be bald because I don't know if she would keep shaving her head at all.
But didn't you say that her superiors want her to keep her head shaven so they can see if there's any marks?
When she has to go through the ritual, but when she's not going through the... So, you know, before you do the ritual...
They have a different perspective when she's not going through the ritual as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was asking for clarification.
Yeah, like...
Well, she might have short hair because she's letting it grow in.
Right. And, yeah, so... Yeah. So I guess, I mean, technically I would just give her short hair. Okay. Well, I mean, that's probably the best. That makes the most sense to me.
That's really In the end, that's what it is. Like I don't give a shit. It's whatever you want to have represented, because unless you're making this a book cover, it's mainly for your inspiration anyway, right? Something that you can look at and stay consistent.
See, the only thing that's yeah, I don't. I really got to think about how to describe her, because I see her in two vastly different, I guess, wardrobes, sort of.
Right, and that's what my issue was, is because I was seeing her. I guess I was seeing her completely in a different wardrobe, where it was like purple spider webby, maybe high collared.
Oh no!
But it would be what they had put on her when during the original first scene.
Yeah, that's definitely going to go here on.
What?
Just something here has to be definitely changed. In fact, I'm gonna put a comment.
So essentially, you're kind of glad that I asked you to define.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's... Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I may have to. I got to rethink that. Huh. Yeah, that's a
conundrum. Ah. Yeah, even the more I think about what's in the chapter, I'm just like, no, I don't know if I want to keep it that way.
Keep it what?
Well, okay, so she's on a mission, and if she's out in the sun, she has to be completely covered. And so I wrote about that, and I kind of thought of it like I drew inspiration, literally, I mean, somewhat from,
Albinos?
well, yeah, kind of, and the Sand People, and from Star Wars, and I suppose somewhat the Fremen of Dune, but they don't have still suits. I mean, they don't need them, but just a very military almost, but also kind of raggedy bunch of bandages and stuff that cover, I mean, literally covers everything. A hat, goggles. I mean, because if she goes out in the sun, it burns. So,
Like a vampire.
well, I mean, it's just her people really don't see the sun, and she is an albino anyway. So, or at least basically looks like one, and she's white. She's whiter than my inner thigh, and let me tell you, my inner thigh is pretty darn white. It never sees the sun. So, yeah, I just had them really don't like the sun. I wanted her to be, yeah. She. But if that's the way she's traveling, the idea that she has a dress to change into just seems stupid. Like it completely changes the whole
aesthetic.
Yeah.
Or function.
Well, both. I mean, it changes the way, like, instead of being this.
Well, it doesn't matter form-wise; it matters function-wise, right?
Right.
Just establishing that, I guess. It doesn't even need to be established on here. It just needs to. I need to have some idea of what I'm painting or drawing.
Right, but I mean, that's what she would be in for pretty much most of the story. But there would be, I'm sure there will be times coming up where it'll be at night, it'll be underground, you know, where she doesn't have to wear all that, and I don't think she necessarily would. So that's really like her. Oh yeah, kind of like Caliban, in Logan. Did you ever watch Logan?
Yes.
Yeah, the albino guy that helps him out, you know, kind of like him. Only, you know.
Have you ever read Caliban in the comic?
He used to be a lot cooler, in my opinion. Well, he used to he kind of looked like Dark Man in a way, like, you know, like from the movie, you know, Dark Man. And then I forget why, but I don't know if it was Apocalypse, and it probably was.
Well, Caliban from Greek mythology.
I know that, but he's also a Marvel character.
Yes, but just like Thor, it's based on the mythology. Like, it may not be right, but that's what it's based on. So that's what they're attempting to do with their representation of him. I remember him more in a white uniform with red eyes.
Yeah, that's not. I liked him before that. Yeah, the white and red thing. Yeah, he used to look like they used to draw him a lot more like Darkman, and it was cool. And then they decided that wasn't cool enough, so they made him less grounded.
So you didn't like Jim Lee's depiction of it?
I just like the original look. And now I'm having a hard time even finding it. So I'm wondering, am I might have to start digging through my comics to find it. Like, I can see a few glimpses, like he's got a trench coat on, and I would say the look he had in the movie Logan was more like the original look. So there it is. I see it. Yep, like kind of a torn trench coat overcoat thing, and raggedy. It's the original, and the movie did a better job.
Or think of it like the Invisible Man. You know, all wrapped up in bandages and
No place to go.
yeah. Ugh.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason we're having an e-learning day tomorrow. And so I have to go to work, but the students stay at home. And I have a couple meetings, but I really don't know what I'm supposed to do with my entire day. Now, I'm sure I can fill my time. Don't get me wrong. I can make lesson plans for next week. I can do all that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, I always have something to do during the school year. There's always another assignment to make. But I just find it weird they're not burying us under a whole bunch of meetings. Because normally it's like just meeting after meeting after meeting. And for generally no good reason. Huh. Oh yeah, and just for the record, there's a detail that I put on Discord that I said is important. It's only important if you show that part of the body. It's not important to show it on it just because you want to show it. If that makes sense.
Well, it might make sense when I read what you put.
Well, it's kind of like saying, let's say you were drawing a picture of Jordan. If you show his feet, he better be wearing Nikes. It's that kind of thing. But if you don't show his feet, I don't need to care about Nikes. That kind of thing. Oh. I think I just unhinged my jaw. My goodness. That's a big yawn. Oh, I'm old. What's worse is I think last night I even went to bed early. Like I think I got like 9 hours of sleep last night. It was glorious. Glorious.
Before I went to bed early. Wasn't sure I was going to wake up. Went to bed early.
Hey, Jay.
Didn't get to sleep till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Jay says,
Could you elaborate?
That's all he says.
I was asking him.
Oh. Ugh. Hey, can you point that towards me? Because it's hot. Okay.
I'm going to also turn it off.
Ah.
Oh, it's under the grips.
You want another one? Oh God, that's weird.
find it pretty interesting that this all shows up blue, but it's really black and white mixed. There's no real blue in it.
It does seem to have it. Well, Courtney wants it.
What's that?
Well, when I look through my look through my desk to see my laptop, the glass has a slight blue tint.
Yeah,
So,
well, I'm not looking to your laptop.
right, but I was, so I said, wait, hold on a second, to make sure I was looking at it as clearly as my screen's going to give it to me. You know, like it's not, no matter what, it's not going to be perfect. But, I mean, on my end, without looking through the glass, it looks pretty black and white. I mean, I guess I can see a little bit of bluish if I squint and go cross-eyed.
Oh, it's really blue grayish to me.
Yeah.
But that it doesn't really matter what it is to me in the end, unless it. So I've said it a lot. I'll say it again. It's not as important what the color is as what the values are, because I want to make it look believable, not like a real creature.
I just remembered I never fixed something today, and I probably should.
You what?
Well, so pretty much everything that I'm using this year is brand new. Like I have to make all my content for my classes, and occasionally that means I mean the amount of stuff I produce is a lot, especially because
If I want you to get 10 questions on a topic, I'll make 50 and put them in a bank so that you can do it multiple times and not just be able to memorize the answers. You know what I mean? So, you actually have to learn the skill to do whatever it is. But I mean, I make lots of questions and lots of material, lots of it. So amazingly enough, occasionally there are mistakes, as you know.
No.
It's copious amounts of crap. And the other day, I made a mistake. I made a mistake on one of the questions, and wasn't much. I mean, it's just one of those things that I don't think I fixed. And out there. Yeah. Well, I guess I did fix it. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I just I don't know what I did wrong. I mean, I know I marked the wrong answer as being correct. That's what it was. I just, you know. And then once that happens with one class, I've already imported the questions to all the classes, so then it's a mistake in every single one. Great. Takes a little bit of time to fix. That's all. And then I can't do it normally right when they want, because they'll point it out in class, and class really isn't the time to fix it. The time to fix it is between classes or during my prep or something, and I just forgot. But it's fixed now. The antonym of happy is once again sad.
What did it become?
Well, it had been joyful. I'm like, nope, that's the synonym.
Have become what? Oh,
joyful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the same.
No, it is not.
It is not synonymous.
I know.
I'm just being facetious because synonym.
Well, then the kids are like,
Are
you trying to tell me? I'm like, no, I just hit the wrong button. Like, it's not that hard to do. Or like, on Moodle, you can turn a switch on questions so that capitalization has to match. So, I mean, if I'm asking a question like, who was the first president of the United States, and you wrote down George Washington but didn't capitalize George or Washington, you'd get it wrong because proper nouns get capitalized. But most things, I just say it doesn't matter because most of the students have on automatic capitalization, so it automatically capitalizes the first word of whatever they type. And, whether they need it or not, I guess. And so they had a question where the answer was to be, and I didn't capitalize it, but I apparently hit the button that says capitalization had to match. So a bunch of people were getting like, it's the same answer. I'm like, yes, you're absolutely correct. Here, that's a quick fix. Let me go fix it. But, it's just kind of funny. It's like, all right, no problem. Like I tell them all the time I make mistakes, and I have no problem giving a kid more points because, for any reason, really. I mean, Kid earned it. Kid earned it. You know, doesn't bother me. It's not like they take every A as a $5 bill out of my bank account or anything. So
You're teaching them something.
yeah, I know. But whatever. My favorite part, these 7th graders are really, it's just kind of funny because they're like, can't you just make stuff on paper? No. Like if it's all on paper, you get one shot at it. That's it. Like, I don't have time to grade this over and over and over again. So you get one attempt, and if it's wrong, that's the grade you're stuck with. Or we can do it on the computer where you can do it over and over and over again, and I can just take the top score because the computer is grading it for me. I set it up. I'm the one that created the question. I'm the one that, thinks it all works. And, it's a much better system. But, so then they're like, well, can't you have a paper version for those? I'm like, no, I can't have a paper version for when you forget your iPad. Like, it's not my fault you forgot your iPad. I didn't do anything to it. I'm not making more work for myself. And I don't give them grief for not having, like, I might say one thing to them, like, hey, just remember you need to make up the work. But as long as they stay quiet, whatever, I don't care. Like, it's, I didn't cause the problem. I don't need to make it a bigger problem. But then they want to sit around and talk, and I'm like, I'm not here to babysit and entertain you. Like, you didn't come prepared. You sit quiet. And they just think I'm a terrible human being. Well, not all of them, but just like, this isn't rocket science. Oh.
It's not rocket surgery.
That's right. Or like, so there are different levels of involvement you have to do to become a teacher. And so like one stage is called your practicum. And that's normally before student practicum. And it's right before student teaching. And during your practicum, you start shadowing teachers. And there's a woman who co-teaches one of my classes. She has 2 of these practicum students. And sometimes I don't know, because the practicum students see kids like once a week. And they're like, well, why aren't you, it's like, why don't you give this person something to do? It's like, because I can give them something to do every single day, and they won't do it on paper. They won't do it on, it's like, I know the kid already. Like, you don't tell me how to do this. I know how to do this. Like, at some point, the child has to make the decision to do what they need to do. And I firmly believe you can lead a horse to water, and if you wait long enough, they will drink. But you may be waiting there a while. I always find it fun because practicum students, a lot of times, are still in the mindset that every child wants to learn, which is one of the biggest fictions ever. Like, are you telling me every child likes school and has always liked school and starts off liking school? There's a reason why.
School?
I know. It's like, I don't recall ever thinking school was like, I didn't mind school. My friends were there. I got to see them, and it wasn't really difficult. But there were days I was like, I don't want to go. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So when you start off with the, oh, every child wants to learn. No, they don't. I always think about,
I understand that if a child is interested in something, they are interested in it, just like any human being. But when you force stuff on people, they tend to dislike it. Think about potty training. A lot of children resist because it scares them. They don't want to change, and all kinds of reasons. That's like one of the most basic things ever. And you're going to tell me, oh yeah, this 12-year-old is really going to care about, grammar and why, that's a verb and that's an infinitive and, that's a gerund and, all these, whatever.
Boy, are you really going to be disappointed when you can't buy a car and the kids don't want one?
Yeah. It's also interesting just to kind of see some of the differences with my boys going to a different high school versus the one I was working at before, and just seeing like where the tolerance levels are for various things. And it's just sometimes I wonder if Marion is more tolerant of poor behavior because they just have I don't want to call it racism, like the soft racism of low expectations, but I would say it's the soft classism of low expectations. We can't expect the town to figure out how to send kids to school with their supplies, so we have to give them the supplies and all. It's just kind of weird.
what's not with them. She's not standing in the cat house again. Let's go. Ouch.
You.
Yeah, the dog wants to hang out and sneak into the cat food while I'm not paying attention.
Oh.
Because he's starving.
Yeah, dogs aren't supposed to eat cat food.
Yeah, he only ate like 20 meals today.
Oh.
Oh, very not that ready, but he's a fucking hobbit.
The other night we were having pizza, and a lot of times I'll give the dog the crust, and I ate a whole piece, and she harumphed, like literally.
Yeah, well, we had soup tonight, and the dog's fucking looking at me like I'm being mean to him. Like, I can't throw you a piece of soup, you dipshit.
Are you going to put more color on his head?
What do you mean?
Well, Conan's head.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Conan's head. Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, I'm working my way back to forward. I put a base coat over Conan. I'm gonna do more than just yellow on there too. You know.
Okay. I just
No,
his head.
I know what you're saying. I'm explaining because the contrast between his head and Abe's chest, I haven't finished settling that yet.
Okay.
But it's paper, so I mean, even though it's watercolor paper, it's paper. So I kind of got to let it dry before beating on it, you know?
I understand.
He reads, his head reads. Like it's not going to be that color at all. It's just I wanted to have a dark that I can go over with lights.
Okay.
So just like white lightens the value, black darkens the value. So I can take burnt sienna, mix a little bit of black into it, and get really a burnt umber or an umber. Okay, gonna stretch for me. Get a drink. Take over.
All right, here. Let me paint a little bit on this. Just a little bit, right? Oh, okay. I can't reach. Yeah. This intermission brought to you by Needing to Stretch. When you've had a long day at work and have been sitting in a cramped position for hours on end, you need a stretch. And a beverage. Let's see if I can unhinge my jaw. Ah.
I think I need to clean enough off my hands so I can smear some more.
There you go. I was watching a YouTube video today, and
This one?
well, okay. It was talking about one of the trials or something that Trump's been going through. No, it was breaking down some testimony before Congress, and because they were talking about January 6th, there was a warning or context added or whatever from Facebook about how supporters of Trump tried to do a self coup d'etat. And yeah, so they instead of
How
just
do you
calling
do
it,
one of them on yourself?
it's when a leader is elected legally, but then refuses to leave office illegally. And I'm like, okay, so you're saying they tried to overthrow the most powerful military on the planet, and there weren't any weapons? Like, if you think that's a real coup? I just find it somewhat ridiculous that they would claim that that's what it was.
Well, the whole thing is ridiculous. They haven't reported honestly in so long. I really don't expect them to ever start reporting honestly again.
Well, when it's been, almost 4 years, we're about to have another inauguration, and they still haven't been able to file any reports to say what went wrong on the last one. It's like, oh, okay, just keep, we can't tell you that's an ongoing investigation so that we don't ever have to find anything. I think it'd be better to say it's either turned in by this time or this is what we assume. And we act on this.
Bishop Ann.
Yeah. Yep.
applesauce，没很，applesauce，好，applesauce打满。
That's your applesauce?
这个打完。
You're gonna bring it in to snack on? No, that's a fine idea.
这是味道，是味道，是味道。
What? Oh, shredded wheat? So what you said?
是味道。
Oh, spirit week. That's what he's saying.
Ah.
No, spirit week.
这是嘛，我也不是外包，我是
Yeah, we're blue and white tomorrow. That's right. All right, I got you. I'm a little slow sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, this was our Spirit Week. We were supposed to wear Country Western the first day, Old People the second day, Hawaiian the third day, and then today was supposed to be college shirts. And it was kind of funny because out of all of those, I don't have any college shirts.
What does college shirts mean?
No, college.
Like, yeah, like a Notre Dame shirt or something like that.
Yeah. Generally from whatever college you went to. But,
Well, how can the kids have gone to college?
well, that's for the teachers. For the kids, it's just whatever they, whatever college they want to represent. Oh yeah, that was another thing. So I'm pretty certain my son has been accepted into more universities than probably all of my family put together now. He got a letter. So, now they have these things where you can just apply for multiple colleges all at once. And that's awesome. That's what he did. And yeah, he got like 33 acceptance letters. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was also kind of nice because,
I'm guessing it's wit.
yeah, he did not score as high on the SATs as I did. And I kind of gave him grief for that because he always thinks, he's like, you can't do this math. And I'm like, I did that math. I just forgot it, kid. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like, well, if you're so much better on math, why'd you score lower than I did? Huh? That kind of thing. Plus,
Friendly rivalry.
yeah, he can take the test again, and they will take your, like, how there's an English and a math score. They'll let you mix and match. So you only take like if you did better in English on this one, but better on math on this one, you can take the best English and the best math and combine that. And I don't think we could do that. Because when I took the test and I got a letter with the results, it was like the percentage of the odds of me doing better on the math portion were about the same as the odds of me doing worse on the English portion. Like, I scored very well on the English side. So, well, I didn't score badly on the math, but it's just...
Well, what do you teach?
Yeah, I know. There's a reason.
That's why I said let's hope so.
But, I told him I was accepted into 100% of the schools I applied for.
Is that true?
Yeah, because I've only applied for 2 schools and I got into both of them. One for my bachelor's and one for my master's. It's and the master's one is a joke. I mean, don't get me wrong, I earned my master's, but getting accepted to that school wasn't the hardest thing in the world, I don't think. I would be surprised how many people they turned down. But, you know, Ball State.
How many people, or you would be surprised if they turned people down?
I would be surprised if they turned people down.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought you were saying.
I just wanted
to be sure.
I needed a credential so I could get a pay raise. So, you know, that's basically all it was for me.
Are you listening, kids? I'm being facetious because I hear it all the time. How important is it to go to art college? And,
in my opinion,
college, but I know a lot of people that did, and they're about mixed in opinion. So pretty much a close mix.
Yeah, I know that my college degree has helped me out, and my family and I worked hard, so I didn't have any real debt. So, you know, that put me in a pretty good spot. So, if you can figure that out, I'd say it's okay. But man, some of these programs, and you know, it's like, what do you like? The fields that some people go into seem stupid. Like, what are the odds of you getting a job?
What are the odds of there being that many jobs in that field, right?
Yeah. I was thinking about that today. Like, one of the first jobs I applied for when I got my bachelor's degree was a creative writing teacher's position for some school in Texas. And there aren't a lot of those jobs for a reason. Like, it's just, and you know, I looking back on it now, I know I wasn't really qualified for the job, and you know, I mean, technically on paper I was, but I would have been one of those people that went to college and therefore thought that they could teach a course on writing, even when, you know, I hadn't been published and all that stuff. And so now I think I would do it better. But anyway, just one of those. Sometimes you just need to realize that what you think you want, it might not be realistic.
Oh, it's about that time, big guy.
Yeah, I figured that. Oh, I was just about to come tell me it is.
Oh, my eyes are burning. Oh,
That hand looks pretty spiffy, and I like that the teeth and stuff. I'm really digging this.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's make this bigger. Yeah. I'd say it's looking pretty good.
Yep, I think I'm going to touch one more thing on the chest real quick. And I think pretty much that's it for tonight.
Yep.
I got the basic sword laid in. I think pretty much the 8th is done. I got his ear done too.
Yep.
I think I might have a little touch on the ear later on with a lighter pink just to show some subsurface gathering. Yeah, so after this one, that will be yours, which is why I wanted that information so that.
Well, like I said, I got to think about the girl a little bit more.
That hopefully causes enough separation between the chest and the head for it to be picked up as a separation between the chest and the head. Well, yeah, I think that's it for the night.
All right.
That's quite a bit actually for tonight. Not as much coverage of the canvas, so to speak, but a lot of details, faces details, hands details.
Yeah.
That moves us forward. So the next thing is I'm going to do some lighter stuff in the wings. Then it's on to Conan in the fog, and we're done.
Sweet.
All right. So as usual, everyone that hung out, liked, subscribed, followed, commented, Jay and Grant, thank you. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment if you haven't. And good night. God bless. Much love.
Peace.